This is Ken, who's in Louisiana. Ken writes, Eddie, I've never heard you talk about Kid Rock. What's your opinion on him musically? I'm not necessarily a fan, but just curious of your take on him. Thank you. I have a lot of respect for Kid Rock, Ken, because he really, really worked to build the career that he has. He really did it on his own. You're talking about a guy that was going around to clubs and selling records out of the back of his car and really put the work in and really hustled and really earned what he has. So I have a lot of respect for artists that do things that way. I really do. Musically, it's not really my thing. And some of it's kind of fun to listen to, but it's not my thing. I've never been a big fan of the whole rap rock sort of deal. But he's kind of emerged beyond that. I saw Kid Rock headline at Rocklahoma a couple years ago, and I mean, he had the crowd, man, and he rolls in large. I mean, he's a private plane guy coming in on the, in the back roads and the, in the fleet of SUVs and all that sort of move. He rolls big, that guy. He's built a hell of a career. He's a good showman. I like that he's outspoken, even if I don't believe in everything he says. I like people who aren't afraid to say it. So, I respect him. Musically, I don't have a Kid Rock song in my iPod, but I don't hate it. It just never was really exactly my sort of thing, but I respect what he's done. This one is from Mark in Chicago. He writes, Eddie, when is the Judas Priest top 20 going to be? You got to do it before Metallica, Big Four, etc. Well, we did Metallica, I believe. We do Metallica? No, we haven't done a Metallica top 20. Wow. I have not even started thinking about top 20s for 2020. There you go. There's a good tagline, top 20s of 2020. I have not even entertained a top 20. I completely forgot about it. We're overdue for one. Who will we do first for 2020? Great one, Mark. I've not entertained that yet. I'll have to start thinking about that and penciling in when we're going to do it very, very soon. I like to do them based on my travel schedule because, as you know, the show that I do, this show is almost always live, but the show I do where I reveal my own 20, I always pre-record, so that gives me a good travel day if I need it. So I like to do it around that, and my schedule is heating up. So we'll do one soon. And yeah, we should do Priest. We'll find out tomorrow, of course, if Priest made the Hall of Fame for the second time on the ballot. We'll find out tomorrow if they actually get in. So yes, maybe Priest next. Wouldn't be bad. Metallica certainly on the docket as well. And Mark's second question is, I heard an interview on a Van Halen podcast that he wrote a coffee table book about his time with Van Halen as a photographer and videographer. He's talking about someone named Andrew Bennett. I was a few weeks late to the podcast. There is almost no reference to the book on the internet at all anymore. Okay, so what Mark is telling me is that somebody named Andrew Bennett was on a Van Halen podcast and had written a coffee table book about his time as Van Halen's photographer. I am not familiar, Mark, with Mr. Bennett or this podcast. I'm sorry, I can't help you. The guy who did an unbelievable Van Halen coffee table photo book is Niels Lozauer, legendary Los Angeles photographer who shot Van Halen in their formative years. By the way, there's a documentary about Lozauer as well, which I've wanted to see and I've yet to. I got to find out how I can see that. What else? Maybe time for one or two more quick ones. This is from Jeremiah, Island Lake, Illinois. Eddie, love listening to your daily volume show streaming on the SiriusXM app. But can you talk to the powers that be to see if your Monday Hair Nation show can be put on demand on the app as well? Jeremiah, that is an age-old question that I've been asked about for years, long before I started doing this show on Volume or Volume existed. People baffled as to why that show is not available on demand. The reason why, I'm told, is because that show, as I discussed earlier this hour, is on a music channel. My show on Mondays is a bit of an anomaly. When I started it over a decade ago, unlike other music shows and music channels, it's live and it is a lot of talk along with music. And because it's on a music channel and I play some music in it, they're not able to, for whatever legalities, stream it. They'd have to cut the music out of it in order to put it on as a streaming on-demand thing. So it's completely out of my hands. I have nothing to do with it. And I've been asked about it for years. And all the people who have been program directors at the time that I've been doing that show have also been asked about it. And the answer is it has something to do with the fact that it's on a music channel versus a talk channel, what volume is. And because I play music in it, there's some legality or issue with that. So sorry, out of my hands, not likely to happen. But you got 5 shows a week here on volume that, of course, are available streaming. John in Sarasota, Ed, bands that should have been huge, Soraya, because I'm the world's biggest fan, and Shelevade 3 and Joanne Dean. I've never heard of the other 2 artists. Soraya, I am well aware of, and they come up quite often. And yeah, it's surprising they weren't big. They had it all. Major label record deal, major management, great band. Unfortunately, never quite made it. But thank you, John. We could do bands that should have been huge for a long, long time. We could do months of that theme, and we will revisit it more often. And I thank you for that. You know what? I am running out of time here, so I don't even want to click on another email. My apologies if I didn't get to yours or even get a chance to respond to it via email personally. I am